welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on January the 31st, last day of the month, so obviously a bit of paperwork to do in that which we're doing this morning. If you do find your subscription suddenly stopped, you have had fair notice. These are only ones that have expired 30 days ago and everything else like that. The rest of you will be getting emails over tomorrow and the next day saying there's a problem with your account and you might get diverted. Watch the video, we're not going to go on about it, but obviously, you know, just follow there and you'll get all the details about resubscribing and everything else like that. So, what have I been up to? Right, well, apart from doing all the paperwork, we have been, if I can get this to fix, there we go. So we've been weathering and doing the cockpit. That one's down in there. I'm just about to show you on video about drilling out the entire front windscreen and all the good stuff like that to really liven this out, but that actually turned out pretty well. Very happy of how that's come out. Some little tips and tricks which I showed you in that one, like scrape cleaning, various bits and pieces, sanding off the tops of the dials, things like that. Over on the other side you can see all the good stuff going over there. So we've got the wings on the go, the tail section's on the go, the rudder is all put together. We've even done, this should be dry by now. There we go, it's always a good sight, glued together. We can see the size of this monster, how big it's going to be. There we go, that is it. So if I can get this off. We've put this together because obviously we've got a better seam line down here than what we'll have before, so that's generally going together very, very well. We've done the nose well, which is all ready to go in. We've done a test fit this morning just to make sure everything goes in there, and it does. We've got the gun all painted. All the bits and pieces have been sorted out, so actually it's not that far off of being completed. It's probably got to be about, I don't know, maybe by the end of the week we'll actually have this thing together. And all the rest of it, but it's coming along very, very nicely. No problems with it at all. And generally, all those things I've heard nightmares about, fit issue, about this, that, and the other. So far, I have to say, I'm not having any problems with it. It's going together quite well. The wing section is a little bit finicky, the way that this all goes and everything else, because it actually has got positionable flaps. You can actually have them, as you can see, in the up position, or you can have them deployed, and you can pull them down. You've got quite a big gap down here at the back. I'm not sure about that. I look at the references and online and things like that. Can't see a gap that big, but it's supposed to be there. It's got a pin and a ridge and everything in there, so it is going to be in there in some shape or form. But generally, it's all going together very well. We can actually do a quick, I haven't actually tried this, gives you an idea. I know you probably saw Steve's on the show, but actually even the wing root and join and everything else doesn't look too bad. So I'm thinking it's actually going to be okay. So as I said, end of the week we'll have this thing together, and then next week we're going to be going into paint and all things like that. This morning I've uploaded the actual Bandai video for the 1/6 Stormtrooper, who is somewhere which I can't even see him. He was around and everything else. If you into the Star Wars stuff, the Bandai stuff and everything else, you want to see this one, because if you thought that the 1/12 scales were really good, the Stormtrooper figures, and they're beautifully done and everything else like that, wait till you see the 1/16, because they are absolutely a beautiful thing. And I think what I'll do is at some point next week or the week after, I'll have a break and I'm going to spend an hour, because that's what it's going to take, pop him together, our video, so you guys can see it and everything else like that. Right, I'm going to carry on now for the rest of the afternoon working on this guy. Hopefully by then we'll get all the cockpit sorted, we'll get it installed, and with any luck we'll get it buttoned up. Let's get on with it. Okay, so really good day today. I must admit, we pushed on lots with the actual A10, done all the detail work, all the bits and pieces, and to be honest, by the morning we'll be ready to actually put this one together, so I'm very happy with that. So if I show you what we've been up to, hopefully the camera will play sort of ball with this. Okay, there we go. Now I know it's a little bit dark and I don't know exactly how much you can see in here. Come on, camera. There we go. I'll tell you what, let me take this off because it's be easier to see here. There we go. There's our cockpit, all done, the instruments and everything else like that. Really happy we did that sort of mix, really. We've taken the best of what I think is both worlds. So obviously using all the resin and obviously the three-dimensionalness of the resin, and then by cutting up all the photo etch parts into obviously the bits that we need, we've managed to put those right the way over, and we've gone through that. And then as you can see on the cockpit area, we've gone in and we've detailed up and painted up and everything, as we can see. So I'm actually really happy how that's come out. I'm sort of chuffed with that. The actual bits you can see over the rest of it. Get this to do its bit. This one I've just shown you on camera putting it together, and then obviously we've got the bodies as we spoke about earlier. The tail planes are over there, all the bits and pieces, they are all done and good. The gun is all done, everything now is ready literally for the sort of final assembly of bringing it all together, which is quite handy because, to be honest, we're in that position where it's gone together really, really well, very, very quickly, so we can then take care of, which we know we're going to have a few seams and a few joins and a few bits and pieces to take care of. The wings look a little bit nasty. I still can't understand why we've got this gap thing going under here. It's like quite a nasty little gap under here, and as I spoke about on here, I'm not too sure about working flaps. Really, do we need them? It's not exactly important on a model like this. Personally, you could then, you know, do you want them deployed, do you want them up, do you want them down, whichever way you want to do it, but having them where they're workable, all right, it's okay, it's nice, but it's a bit of a gimmick. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how all that goes together. Once it's all together, then we can work out about the engine, because obviously we're going to super detail out the engine. We've got resin engines for it, we're going to have them open, we're going to have them exposed, and we're going to go to town on that and everything else. So really looking forward to pushing on with it. It's coming together really, really nicely. So this is up with you right now. I know some of you have seen it already. I put it up at lunchtime, but this is the giant 1/6 Stormtrooper, which actually is about that tall. If you're wondering, actually, I mean, even better, this guy on the side is actually almost 1-to-1 scale. So it gives you an idea of how big it is. But if you've ever fancied having something a bit bigger than we've seen with the 1/12 stuff, and you've thought, I'd be nice, but wouldn't it be great if it's this big? Then there you go, that is definitely the one for you. It's a really nice kit, it goes together very much like the newer ones. They're slightly different on the knee, the way the knee sort of works, and with the elbows, they're a lot better, and obviously this one's got a posable foot, so it's not just an upscale as you might think, because there's obviously little bits of different, the way it goes together on the helmet, just subtle changes. Overall, it's still roughly the same thing, but on a giant scale. But this is better. But you are paying a premium. It's not the cheapest kit in the world. But if you ever fancied a Stormtrooper that big, then definitely the kit for you. So there we go. That's about it for today. Be up with you tomorrow. So part 2 of obviously the A10 will be up with you tomorrow. But obviously we're going to be working through this one. And again, we're going to have a look around the studios we said we were going to do. I'm going to take you through some of the cabinets tomorrow, show you some of the tools I use, some of the ones I don't, the reasons I do, the reasons I don't, and everything else like that. So hopefully you'll be able to join me tomorrow. So that's it from me today. Happy modelling. Take care.